everybody, so new review today. We're going to be talking about Selena the series part 2. After about 5 months now since that first part of Selena the series, we get the second and final part of the Netflix series about Selena Quintanilla. I knew that this part was going to be a bit more emotional, obviously due to the tragic nature of her passing, but I went into this hoping that part 2 was going to have a satisfying conclusion to the story, and also just shed some light on stuff that we haven't seen before, and fix some of the criticisms that we got in part 1, because I did like part 1 overall, but there was a lot of things to criticize about it as well, and I fortunately think that part 2 does fix a lot of those criticisms. Right off the bat, part 2 feels much more different than part 1, as Selena is a lot more of the big focus of part 2. Could be kind of jarring to see the rest of the Quintanilla family kind of become background characters for a lot of this, but it is about Selena, and I'm glad that they decided to actually put Selena in the forefront, as we see her star still rising with Selena dos Dinos, but we delve a lot more into her as a person in this part, as she's juggling various different things like the stress of touring, I think to do a US album while also getting married to Chris Perez, and also trying to open a boutique. All those different things I thought were very well done. It's one of the things that I actually really wanted from this series from the get-go, is seeing the more personal side of Selena, and we get a lot of that here as her star is still rising, but she's still attempting to juggle all these different things, but also trying to make time for her family as well. That isn't to say there aren't great family moments in the entire series, because I do think that part 2 has a lot of great ones as well. There's a great blend of fun, humorous moments amongst the family members, but also a lot of heartfelt and charming scenes as well, especially between Suzette and Selena, and also Selena with Chris Perez. I actually really loved all of the additional moments in this part 2 when it comes to a relationship between Chris Perez and Selena. I think that it adds a lot of emotional weight to everything that's going on in part 2. I'm not entirely sure if this is a hot take, but I actually really like Christian Serrato's portraying Selena. I think she does a much better job in part 2 as opposed to part 1. I think she really captures Selena's personality well. She's really settled into the role, and I think she does a great job recreating all of these iconic Selena moments, especially the musical performances and also the music videos as well. I think those are some of my big highlight moments, the musical stuff, just because I love the music, hearing that once again, but also just the recreations are very well done. You can truly tell that a lot of time and effort was put into recreating all these musical moments, especially from the costumes, even the music video sets as well. And I think a lot of Selena fans are going to love those moments, especially when we see the final performance of Selena in the Houston Astrodome. I think that they spent the most time and effort on that scene, because I think that is the ultimate Selena performance, and I just love how they did it. And it was really emotional too. It was one of those things where if you're a fan of Selena, I think that's going to be one of the most emotional moments of the entire series, not just part 2. One of the big things to discuss in this series is Yolanda Saldivar. We got a quick glimpse of her in part 1, but now she's like a full-fledged supporting character in this series. I think that they deal with her respectfully as they could. We see her inclusion kind of slowly get bigger and bigger out throughout the episodes as she pops in and out. It's just rough because you know the sad conclusion of everything, and I really commend Natasha Perez for portraying the role, because it's kind of hard to portray the role of one of the most hated people in the world. The last few episodes really just pull on your heartstrings as you see everything unfold to its conclusion. I mean, the final performance of her in the Astrodome is some of the stuff I thought was one of the best moments of the entire series, if I'm being honest. Just really great stuff there, really emotional. I mean, it almost made me want to cry watching that unfold, just because that's such a beautiful performance, and I think they recreated it really well. But yeah, I think that part 2 is a major upgrade from part 1, as it does a really great job delving into Selena in her final year, showcasing her talents. It's just unfortunate that she was cut short way too soon when it comes to her success, because she was just starting to be a massive success in the US, and she was tragically taken away from us. As a whole, I think that the Netflix series did a good job showcasing the entire life of Selena when it comes to her rise to stardom and then her tragically being cut short. I think that it could have been a little bit better in some regards. There are certain things that could have been improved, but as a whole, you know, it's a decent biopic series that I think that does a good job showcasing Selena Quintanilla to a new audience on Netflix. Those have just been my thoughts on Selena the series part 2. I really recommend checking it out. It's out today on Netflix if you want to check it out and see the second part of the series if you are a fan of the first one, or if you're not a fan of the first one, I highly recommend coming back and trying out part 2, because I do think it's an improvement. Either way, share all your thoughts down below, because I love having a discussion with you guys when it comes to movies and TV on the channel. As always, thank you so much for checking out my reviews though. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button if you want to keep updated movie reviews, show reactions, unboxings, and more on the channel. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.